Hey everybody, this is John Guerra. I am the editor of all of the videos you see here on the Renard City YouTube channel. And here I am, a year later, doing another impromptu AK August video. So in the last video I did for this theme month, I talked about why I liked AK Girl / Vibes McAllister as a character. I talked about some of my history with her, I talked about what I liked about her, and I just went over why she was one of my favorites. This year, I'm sort of continuing off of that by answering a simple question that was given to me by the creator of the series, Rob Turner. What were my favorite stories involving Vibes over the years? Now, despite Renard City Chronicles being a thing, and still being a thing as of this video, I limited myself to the original series because that's where most of the stories that I was familiar with and got into took place in. Now, picking an issue that solely focused on Vibes was a bit of a challenge for me. Like, it wasn't that hard for me to pick my favorite issues, but choosing what stories that I liked and figuring out what to say about them was the tricky part for this. And out of the original series, I figured I'd pick two particular issues that I personally liked to talk about for this video. So starting off briefly, the first issue I picked out was actually my runner-up for favorite, issue 14. While this isn't exactly a vibe-centered story, I wanted to pick it as one of my favorites, or at least my second favorite, because it has something in it that I genuinely do like, and it's something that I always enjoy seeing whenever it happens in the series. And that is the pairing of Vibes and Sally. While this is a fairly simple story, with it being the part 2 of a two-parter story, I feel like it was one of the first proper starts of the whole Vibes and Sally team-up dynamic. And as issues went on, I felt like it got better and it started to improve, because I'm personally a huge sucker of the whole trope that this pairing brings with it. You have the level-headed hero who tends to abide by the rules most of the time and takes her job as a hero more seriously, which in this case would be Sally. And then you have the more laid-back and fun-loving hero of the group that doesn't really take things too seriously, but when things get tough, they do take it seriously and really get their head into the game, which is, in this case, Vibes. And the reason why I love this dynamic between Sal and Vibes is because, well, they've been friends for a long time. They know how each other are as a person, and yet despite all of this, they still manage to come through and they still manage to save the day, or in this case, save a loved one. They may get on each other's nerves at some point, but you know what? That's just how friends tend to be. My pick for favorite issue, however, was actually a lot more easier for me. It's issue 25, the first and unfortunately only milestone issue of the original series, but for it being the only real milestone issue, it was a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. While it is coming off of the events of issue 23 and 24, and if you look at those issues, you'll understand what I'm talking about by this, issue 25 actually feels more like a slice of life issue to me. It feels like something that you don't need to read the previous issues for in order to enjoy. You can just jump into this one and still enjoy the story for what it is. The setting and environment is a lot more darker and eerie. Vibes is, of course, the main focus. This was a vibe-centric story, so obviously it was a contender for this. It has that weirdness and surrealness that I personally enjoy the series for, and I feel it's all complemented with some great art by Dan Butcher. I personally feel that 25 has some of his best art in the series. And much like the last issue, it is a fairly simple story. I mean, you're not gonna get a lot of depth or character development out of a story such as superheroes in an evil carnival, if I'm being completely honest. But considering the events that this issue follows, as well as the events that it was, well, originally going to set up, I feel that a simple story like this was more than needed at that point. It just, nothing serious, nothing too full of drama or anything, just something simple, fun, and enjoyable. And that's what we got with issue 25, and it's why I personally love coming back to reading it. And I hope when the inevitable issue 25 video comes out, you'll all take a look at it and you'll see what I mean for yourselves. Or if you don't want to wait, you just go to the Renard City website and look it up through the archives. It's always going to be there. These may have only been 2 examples of my favorites, but again, the whole series I'd say has a lot of other good stories featuring Vibes as well. And I'm actually kind of interested in seeing what other people have to say in terms of what their favorite Vibe story is, what their favorite AK Girl story is. With all that said, this has been John. Thank you all for listening to my AK August ramblings for the year. And until next time, I'll see you soon.